For this particular video, I'd actually like to go into detail about some information related to a religious symbol that I used to misinterpret, especially because the amount of information about that specific religious symbol led me to believe and draw conclusions from an ideological premise that was incorrect. However, based on my actual dialectical analysis of religion and religious texts, also symbols in the context of what they specifically mean in their abstraction as symbolism to specifically represent something, I have come to understand that specifically the pentagram, which I interpreted to be a symbol of the devil, actually is not. In context, when I did a particular study about the monad, which comes from the Pythagorean concept of a singularity or the origin of the universe, it actually is particularly interesting that in context, the pentagram represents God. I know for most people this is going to actually sit pretty uncomfortably for how they actually listen to that and kind of interpret that. However, if you actually look at the inverted pentagram, it actually is supposed to represent the bottomless pit. Now this, like I said, is based on a dialectical anthropology of religion, and when you actually start to understand concepts that are related specifically to what is expressed in religion and their ideological premise, especially with concepts that are related to other religious symbols like the all-seeing eye, you understand that these symbols particularly are not demonic in the context of their association as symbols to something in terms of its meaning. They, however, can be in context if they are associated with certain practices. For instance, the inverted pentagram is supposed to represent Satan in the context that it represents the inverted pit and everything in the bottomless pit. Now, when the symbol is inverted, the pentagram, it actually is supposed to represent the first being who created all others. And it's not something satanic. I could go off into research notes, study notes, different types of anthropological analysis and evidence that dictates that the pentagram is not satanic. It's actually something that I misinterpreted. What I found really particularly interesting also is that there was a recent film that came out called, X-Men Apocalypse. I'm not too sure of the date. And what's fascinating is in the actual notes that were created in the script that were explained by the producer, he actually says that the person in the film, and this is what pissed me off, is supposed to be the God of the Old Testament, the blue character, and he uses symbolism specifically in the opening that's supposed to be esoterically interpreted in context where Jesus Christ is referred to as a mutant. Now in this context, it's pretty blasphemous, and the rest of the film kind of explores the concept of God assuming he was something he was not. Now, especially based on my anthropological analysis of religion, I know that God and Jesus Christ are the actual same person. I've made mention in anthropological notes and my actual dialectical study that Jesus Christ's resurrection can actually be referenced on loc.gov. It's called the Acts of Pilate. And I forget the particular, silent.